Hello, this is the Growth League podcast. My name is Caleb Clark, and my mission for this show is pretty simple. It's to learn from marketers on how they're playing the great game of marketing leadership. Their ideas, experiences, perspective, wins and losses, and the playbook that they've established over time. Listen, there's more than one way to lead a marketing team and a marketing function. So if you're a VP, a CMO, director, or someone aspiring to fill one of these marketing leadership roles in the future, tune in to learn from some of the best in the business.
Because, marketing at the end of the day, there's technology, there is best practices. A big part of it is about the love and care, the people side of it, and if people are growing and they're happy and they're motivated, ultimately, great work and great outcome just is the byproduct of that.
All right, man. What's going on? How you doing? How you enjoyed the gathering so far?
The gathering. This is my second time at the gathering. Great people, great networking, a lot of fun. This year we've got a lot of our teams here, so it's amazing.
Yeah. You don't always get the time to, as partners reflect on business and growth and journey, and so I want to talk a little bit about that today, but also from your perspective, from our CEO's perspective, why do we exist? What problems do we solve for whom, and why do you think we're best suited?
Right. Well, first of all, I have been wondering, when do I get a chance to be interviewed?
Today's the day.
The question, what problem do we solve for whom? So, of course, we primarily work with established brands that are growing, have a lean internal marketing team, usually 4 people or less, right? And, in their situation, they are subjected to a lot of challenges that they just simply don't have the internal resources or the budget available for them to solve those problems, right? And established brands that's growing obviously have very ambitious targets, and when it comes to the topic of marketing, there's often a lot of things that needs to be done in order for them to fulfill those growth objectives. Yet, because they are a very lean team, a team of 1, 2, 3 people, it's unlikely that you can find the 1, 2, 3 people who could be an expert in copywriting, advertising, videography, social media, automation, email marketing, all that sort of stuff. So why we exist, of course, is that we can put in place a fractional, marketing department that are very business-centric, understands the situation, the constraints of those lean marketing teams, and are able to mobilize ourselves, develop a process to be their extension.
We talked recently about this being day one, or sort of the new chapter in the evolution of Hook and Ladder. And so that aside for a second, what are some of the things that represent highlights or special moments or milestones for Hook and Ladder since back when we started until now?
It's quite a journey, right? We started, I think we officially started back in 2013, right, as a social media agency, just managing clients' Facebook, Twitter page. There's no Instagram, there's no TikTok, of course, and then very quickly realized that, we were in social media, and but there's a paid portion of it. Then we kind of span into the social media advertising, side of things, and then eventually kind of expand into, advertising across multiple channels, and then creatives becomes an important component about advertising, and then there's website, there's SEO, there's automation, there's email marketing, all that sort of stuff, because they all are kind of integrated in a way to holistically accomplish those business goals, right? So there's a lot of milestones. I mean, the milestones, one is from a people side, and then there's from the client side, and there's also from a product side, if you were to ask me. When, as of course as our purpose of why this organization exists is to really ignite the potential for those who are ready to grow, right? So on the people side, one important milestone that I'm personally very proud of is when you see the junior team member who joins us, a couple of years ago, and how every single year they're graduating their accountability, and just after a few years, you can see how they're now a leader in the space that they play, and as compared to some of these external organizations where they might not have the same level of opportunities. In terms of career growth and learning, that's really a rewarding thing to see. Because, marketing at the end of the day, there's technology, there is best practices. A big part of it is about the love and care, the people side of it. And if people are growing and they're happy and they're motivated, ultimately, great work and great outcome just is the byproduct of that. Right? So that's one big milestone. But then the other part also is a combination of the client and the product, where as we work with our clients, when we take over something at ground zero, something that they're really not proud to share, and then with our partnership, they graduate to a point where, they can confidently be out there saying that, this is industry leading stuff, and these are the things that, they talk about to the world about why they're so proud about their brand, their business. There's a number of those examples that comes to mind.
And there's real business results, not just a nice looking brand, right? There's stuff to back up that.
Exactly. So it's kind of, as an entrepreneur ourselves, it's, years ago, you partner with an organization who may be smaller, just like us, and then, the organizations are growing together. And you can see now they are very sophisticated, they are, scaling profitably, and ourselves having a hand in being part of that, that's a big milestone. And that also enables us, as we work with these client partners, to realize that, this is a gap that they really have, and they don't know of how to fill them. They are looking for us to help them fill this gap, and as that happens, we are investing our time to build resources, build teams, build products that helps to serve those gaps, and that becomes our path of our journey. Those are all things that are kind of an integrated set of milestones.
So in our recent quarterly planning, we discuss this idea of a brand new start. It's day one. What do you mean by that? What does day one mean? And what comes into clarity, vivid clarity for you over the next 6 months to 12 months based on our trajectory?
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
Here's what I've learned. Of course, in our, business planning session, we've got our annual planning, we've got our 3 years goal, we have our more tactical quarterly plan that kind of lists out, these are the things that are really important for our team, our company, our clients, and then we formulate our action plan based on that. And there's a lot of merits in terms of doing that, right? Because if you can't see where you're going, you're probably not going to go there. But also at the same time, to counterbalance it, is that clarity isn't always, hey, I'm just dead set and that's where we're going to go. Right. We as we progress, we continue to find additional clarity of that, right? So when we're talking about today is our day one, we went from 4.5 years ago, we were a 4 people team, right? And today we're a 35 people team, and of course the challenges that we are exposed to today is very different than the challenge that we have a few years ago. And at the same time, though, because our mission is to ignite potential for ourselves, for our team members, for our clients, the only way to continue to ignite that potential is to grow, right? If not growing, then that potential is not going to be realized. So that means that we have to be expanding, we have to be innovating, we have to help our clients and our team members grow. Yeah. So you can look back and say we've come a long way, but at the same time, look, something that we've talked about in the recent town hall was that there will come a time where we'll look back as like, wow, Hook and Ladder, remember those good old days where we only have less than 50 people, right? Because a big part of why we do what we do is about actually for our own team, for our own people, right? Because a lot of team members, they work for their experience, they work for different organizations. Some of them are in companies that they are not as passionate about, they don't feel as well taken care of, they may not be working with clients that
rejuvenate them.
Yeah, exactly. And of course that's kind of very different than the type of relationship that we look to develop in Hook and Ladder. So in order for us to have a larger impact, in order for us to allow our social media strategists to have the opportunity to become a social media manager, director, right? And to really unleash his or her potential, we need to grow. So let's not just look back, but look forward where, today is the first day to the rest of our journey.
Yeah. My last question for you, sir, is what are some of the things that a business can expect from a relationship with Hook and Ladder?
As a partner, as a partner, right? As your agency partner, right? So, I came from, I grew up in my professional career, like I've done a lot of stuff, before coming full time onto Hook and Ladder. Although that we've started this together, right? Mm-hmm. There's a number of years of me doing something else before I joined full time in 2018. And I've had a lot of my learnings from one of my previous employers, Accenture. Right? Accenture is like is really a technology consulting company. It's got to have like 600,000 people or something like that by now, right? One of the leading work with Fortune 500 companies, and what I've learned throughout that 7 years of Accenture is that successful business partnership are often relationship first and business first, regardless of what is the actual service that you're providing. Right? Yeah. So, despite the fact that Accenture may be providing technology implementation service, let's say for a banking client, well, the things that we're building those technology implementation services is grounded on, well, how will this help the banking executive solve their problem in this world of digitization, the looming credit crisis, the lack of cash availability, whatever that may be, right? And so that's kind of where I learned about how everything needs to come to understand the business problem that we're trying to solve, and that has been an input in helping us to shape Hook and Ladder the way that we shape it, which is also very business first. So what I've seen, I didn't grow up as a marketer. I didn't go to school for marketing. I was a mechanical engineer and then did my MBA and then went into technology consulting before really going full time in Hook and Ladder. The thing that I kind of realize when it comes to solving business problem is that we need to first understand, well, what's the risk, what's the opportunity, and then we look at the options, right? That's actually a very engineering mindset. So how we chose to implement Hook and Ladder in terms of our systems and processes, that we put together a team for our client, because people are ultimately the solution to that problem.
And resourcing is the constraint. It's not a poorly performing ad campaign. That's the symptom.
Right. Exactly. So we don't go and talk to a client partner and say, well, you need to buy the service. Well, you need to take this task and activity, right? The way how we work with our clients almost always start off to be, well, what is the business problem? Okay, great. this is the business problem. We need to triple the size of the company within this year. Well, that's a very ambitious target. Okay, well, let us go and analyze everything that you're doing right now and benchmark against all the competitors. Have somebody done this before, right? And then we pair ourselves with those. Here's how we would do it from a strategic level. So not the how, but it's about the why and the what. And we develop that strategy with the client. But oftentimes, that requires a lot of input from the client. That requires our client to work together with us. Well, look, who are the true target customers that you have that you really differentiate from, right? We have this this concept about me too, me better, me only, right? Me too. I also provide the service. Me better, I develop the service, but a little bit better than everyone else. And me only, well, I'm the only one who developed this, solve this problem, and here's the reason why I'm the only one doing it. So after we go through that strategy kind of development, that everyone has clarity in terms of how we can solve this problem, then it's about executing against that strategy, but really in a agile manner. So the way how we do things differently is that we have very, very frequent conversations and meetings with our client that talks about, hey, these are the things that we're going to be doing. These are the things that we've done. Here's how it aligns with the strategy and whether it's working or not. And we really are an extension of that team, and we also deploy resources in a way that allows those resources to be able to work integrated with the client. We've hired team members where they came from other agencies. They came from an advertising agencies. Well, how many clients do you currently work with? Oh, yeah, I work with 30 different clients. Well, if you work with 30 different clients, it is unlikely that you really know that client very well, their products, their sales team, their competitors, their landscape and how it's changing. It's impossible. You're now just a production line of getting the job done. Whereas in our case, our client success manager works with 3 to maximum of 5 clients, right? Our advertising specialist works with 3 to 5 clients. So they actually have that time and brain capacity to study that and to think as if this is, my business, this is my brand, this is what I'm accountable for, which is very different from a production line mindset. So I guess long-winded story, but the solution, I guess the overall summary of what I'm trying to say is that we're here to solve a business problem, and we're here to put in the right size business solution to solve that problem, as opposed to these are the things that I sell, and doesn't matter what problem you come to me with, this is the solution. There's a lot of I'm an SEO agency. Oh, you need more sales? SEO must be the problem, must be the solution. I'm a creative agency. Well, you need more sales. You must need more, creative capacity. There's a lot of that going on in the marketing landscape, which I think we're very different from.
Well, it's been a great journey so far. Nobody I'd rather be taking the journey with than yourself. And it is alarming to consider what is next for Hook and Ladder, just given the data points and the proof of where we've come over the last couple of years. And it's a direct function of team players that care, that feel a sense of belonging and ownership to what we're doing. And that extends to our client partners as well, who care deeply. They consider us part of their company, and understand the direct impact of investment of time and energy and relationship. So can't wait for the future, man. Well, I guess the future's tomorrow. So
the future's tomorrow.